everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Ripple Effect Podcast, #Goehringer Takeover. We are so glad to be with you here today. In the studio, I have my whole family with me. I've got Macy to my left, my lovely wife. I have all my children. This is Emery Ellen, our oldest. This is Shyla Renee, our middle daughter. Piper Louise, our youngest daughter. And then I have Lucas Gerard, our oldest boy. Deacon James, who is our middle boy. And then Simon Joseph, who will be a menace this whole time. There you go. Give it to him. We're so glad that you are with us this week. This week, we are going to recap VBS, and then I'm going to ask my children a few questions, and we'll talk about having conversations with your children. So first, though, we have to give the sponsor of the week, and for the sponsor of the week, Lucas and Deacon are going to share some jokes with you. So, who wants to go first? You want to go first? All right, talk loud.
What's the cat's favorite word?
What's a cat's favorite word? Perfect. Perfect. Very good. Lucas, do you have a joke?
Yes. What's a seal's favorite school?
What's a seal's favorite subject in school?
Art.
That's pretty good. I heard a joke today as well.
Are you sponsoring the jokes as well today?
Maybe, but I can't. I'm pausing because I can't remember the
Oh,
joke.
well then don't say it.
What has 5 toes, but it's not your foot?
What?
It's my foot.
That's like a dad joke.
I know that's a terrible.
Terrible dad joke.
Terrible dad joke. Okay, well, we're so glad that you have joined us. Let me give you, let's recap the week, and let's talk about this past Sunday. So this past Sunday was VBS recap, and we were talking about the things that we learned at VBS. So do each of you have something about VBS that you learned or that you loved? What's something that you enjoyed about VBS? Piper? Talk to the people, not to me.
Why?
Okay, go ahead.
I liked how we got lunch. The lunch.
You got
We got lunch. That is your lunch.
Lunch is my favorite.
Deacon, what was yours?
The snacks.
The snacks were good? Yeah, the snacks were good. Anybody else have anything else about VBS?
I do.
What?
I love the experiments. They were really fun.
The experiments?
And
Imagination stations? They were good, yes.
I have one.
Hold on, Deacon, you're right. Go ahead, Lukey.
When every of my teammates and all the other are working together and they're being friends.
Yes, that is wonderful. Okay. Emery, what about you?
I don't know. I was basically in the same station because I was a helper.
This was your first year being a
This was
helper.
my very first year being a helper. I loved seeing all the kids' smiles whenever we did all the energized stuff, whenever we did backstrokes, or whenever we did a free dance, even though the song stopped, we still kept on dancing. I thought the smiles were so fun.
Yeah. Simon, do you have something that you liked about VBS?
He liked the music. He liked the food.
He loved playing outside.
He did. Macy, you got to be assistant director for VBS. This is your 3rd year now?
Yeah.
2nd or 3rd year? What was stressful about it and what was good about it?
Stressful. Enjoyed getting to see all the different people. I was disappointed it wasn't on my birthday this year. Normally it's on my birthday, so everybody gets to sing to me, and that didn't happen this year. So, but I really enjoyed. That's okay. But I enjoy being around all the people. Stressful is just making sure that we got everything done in time. My job, all of the things that I do, it had to be done by a certain time. So like, I had this much time to finish it, and then this much time to do this, and so, I mean, not a big deal if they didn't get done. But in my mind, like I was like, I have to get it done, so. I guess maybe that would be.
Good. Okay, so this past Sunday we did VBS recap service. So if you missed that, Watch the second service of the Sunday morning services if you missed it on Facebook or on YouTube, because I interviewed some students and it was so funny. It was really, really
we
funny.
left before.
I
'cause
know.
We had come for first service.
I
And
know, but it was so good. I know. So there you go. There's your recap for this week, and I've got. Hold on. Wait for it. The TLCC top 3 that you need to know going into this week. Number 1, Serve Day is coming up. It's the last Sunday in August. And if you have ideas for Serve Day projects, we'd love to hear them. tlcc.church/Serve Day. And it's a way for you to share ideas or projects that you think might be a good idea for us to participate in. Number 2, the XYZ Ice Cream Social. That's our senior citizen socializing group. Extra Years of Zest is what they're called. They are having a ice cream social August 4th, and it will be at 6 p.m. And if you have questions about that, contact Sarah Lewis. So those are the 2 things that we needed to talk about. We don't have a third because it's a slow week, but there you go. TLCC top 2, I guess, for the week. Okay, let's get into it, Goehringer family. If someone were to ask you, what is it like being a part of the Goehringer family? How would you answer that?
I would answer it if sometimes it can be crazy.
Yes.
Because the Goehringer family, once we get all of the Goehringers together, like all of our other families together, it's like huge, but it's definitely fun. I love it. I think I like having a big family.
Yeah. Shiloh, what were you going to say?
We go to groceries every day.
We go get groceries every day.
It feels like it.
It does feel like it. Lucas, what about you?
I like, since we spend time with the family and every day, the sunshine. And also I like when everyone does funny jokes. And also when we spend time as a family.
Yeah, I do love that. What?
The house is always messy.
It can be messy very much. All right. What? Oh, Piper, you got something?
That you always have someone to play with. Mouse.
Yes. What is something that Mommy and Daddy do a good job at being your parents?
Me.
Hold on. Deacon, go ahead and you say first. What's something we do a good job at?
Helping us when we're hurt.
Helping you when you're hurt. Lucas, what were you going to say?
Doing our laundry. And cleaning outside.
If you knock it over.
That happens. Shiloh, what's something that we do well?
You make our food.
Mm-hmm.
I know something.
Okay. What, Piper?
You get us in trouble well.
We get you in trouble well?
Yeah.
Oh,
always know
right. Okay. And Emery, what do you think is something that we do well?
Taking care of us.
Taking care of you. Okay. What is something?
Did Lucas ever answer?
Yeah, we fold laundry.
Daddy.
What did he say though about
And we clean up.
as a family being in the Goehringer family? Because he said
What?
Why is it sticking out?
That's a great question for another time. That's the fire system.
Yeah,
Can
but
you
why
sit
is
down
it
here for a
sticking out?
Because we couldn't change it. All right. All right. Now here's the big question. What's something that Mommy and Daddy don't do well, or you think we could get better at?
Playing pickleball.
Playing pickleball. No, and at parenting.
I don't want to say.
They're revealing our poor. No, it's okay.
Giving us bigger parties.
Giving you bigger parties. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
Lucas?
Are you okay?
Your jokes aren't that funny.
What? My jokes are the best. Always.
No. Dad jokes are the worst.
There.
Yeah.
What's something that you think Mom and Dad is something we can get better at?
I know what Mommy can get better at. Sewing. No.
I'm talking about our parenting. How we
Parenting.
how
I
we
was
teach
trying
you.
to talk.
Wait. Everybody, Emery, go ahead.
I just don't want to be mean in saying this.
Just say it.
Whenever I feel like I don't know.
I know.
Whenever you guys like have arguments, I just wish that you guys talk calmly to each other.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes we have arguments, and sometimes you hear them.
Sometimes, Daddy. Sometimes.
Yes.
Do we all the time have arguments?
Daddy.
Do you wish?
Something I think that you could get better at is giving us more stuff that we
Give me more stuff. Do you, wait, I have a question. I have a question.
Bad parents.
Let me follow. So, do you wish that Mommy and Daddy would, if we have an argument, we would do it where you can't hear it, or do you like that you can hear it and know how we talk to each other?
hear it, know it.
I got this.
Not hear it, but know what you're talking about.
So we'll give you the bullet points of here's what happened last night. We had an argument. Here's how it went.
It just depends on what you're arguing about.
I guess so. That's true.
Most of the times I don't want to hear it.
What makes you happy right now? What's something that makes you happy, Lucas?
When we spend time as a family.
And screens, yeah. Emery?
What makes me happy? I like. Does it have to be anything specific?
No.
Or just out of the ordinary?
What makes you happy?
The woods at Nana and Poppy's house.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
Seeing the streams, it's happy. Or whenever I'm just here with all my family.
I'll come to you. Piper, what makes you happy?
Seeing my cousins.
Mm-hmm. Deacon?
Now going swimming.
I love swimming.
Poppy ants.
Shyla?
Getting excited about holidays.
Holidays.
Holidays are
Spending time with your family.
Speaking of holidays, is there a tradition that we do as a family that you like?
I have one.
What?
Oh, there's two that I can't decide.
Guys.
Goehringer Olympics.
Goehringer Olympics is a good tradition
Wait.
where we have a competition between all our families and when we gather the whole group together. Lucas?
I like when it's Christmas and we go to our grandma and papa's.
Yeah, that's fun. What about you, Piper? Is there a tradition that you like?
I like Christmas is how sometimes we have to draw a card and see whose present we're gonna get,
Oh, yeah.
and we have to get something like cheap, something to put in their stocking.
Last year we didn't have to do that.
That's true.
Last year we had
Got one for everyone.
Oh.
Yeah, last year
You
was.
picked one for everyone.
Shyla?
I like Easter when we go to our neighbor's house and we all get to find the eggs.
That's
Oh,
fun.
yeah, that is
I
fun.
enjoy that
We
too.
love doing that. Deacon, do you have a tradition that we like to do? A tradition is something that we do every year.
I also like
Christmas?
Olympics.
Yeah, we do have Christmas.
And
Can I tell you why?
Goehringer Olympics.
Yeah.
I like Goehringer Olympics, how we all get together, and one year we made cakes. All the kids made little cakes.
And I
What
like
happened?
the crazy.
Oh,
What
yeah.
happened to yours?
The dog ate mine. I found my plate on the floor all ripped up, no cake on it.
Oh,
But it was really sad. But what was fun is I
Too
got
bad
it
for you.
late
No, sir.
night making the cake.
No, sir.
Late night making the
Too
cake.
bad for you.
What is it
but I
that...
didn't even eat
bad
my
for
cake
you.
'cause I don't even like cakes. So it doesn't matter.
So Mommy and Daddy, we love Jesus. And that's something that even no matter where we are, that's what we try to live out. Is there a way that you, in your life, love Jesus? And how do you love Jesus? Whether you're here at church, or whether you're doing schoolwork, or whether you're playing, like, how do you love Jesus?
I try to think about him and know what he's done for me, all my blessings that he's
The
done.
Bible. When I go to church.
When you go to church?
When we
Bible.
meet new friends.
When you meet new friends, yeah. Piper?
When you go outside and look at all the beautiful things you made.
Yeah, that's cool.
Look at it, Mimi.
If you could, for the people that are watching, if you could tell them one thing about yourself that they might not know, if they're like, I want to know something interesting about Piper or about Lucas, or what's something about yourself that you'd want people to know?
I'm really funny.
Yes, you are.
I'm in love with love.
You're in love with love. You are. You are romantic.
Like everybody.
She's also
Deacon, what about
very-
you? What's something that you want
I
people
love video games, mostly Smash Bros.
You do love video
Simon,
games.
can you tell them something that you love and you
All
want
right,
them to know?
Emery, what's
you
something
tell them
about you?
The
No. I like to do my hair in totally different styles. Right now it's just blank, but I was thinking about doing 2 buns in my hair today, though.
Sometimes
I like to do my hair wild.
Mommy, what about
That's
you?
one thing I like about it.
Hold on, I'll get to Mommy in a minute.
Oh, okay.
What's something about you, Shiloh?
I like doing art.
You like doing art? That's really good.
Simon, can you tell us?
So, I wanted to get you alone.
Sure you did.
So we can, and because there are, I think for us, we are in the midst of it. We're in the trenches of parenting, but we're also at the point where our children are old enough to have difficult conversations with.
Yeah.
So for some parents out there, what could be some encouragement you can give them in having maybe not easy conversations about how they are being perceived or what the kids are thinking in a way that lets them know they're safe to talk to them, but also encourages and reminds them that they're supported, that they're loved, and that sometimes the answers you might not like, but I want to have conversations with my kids.
For me, one thing that I've had to remember is that they're little humans too. You know, like sometimes we'll talk to another person, and everybody has an opinion, right? We all have opinions about things, but to be willing to listen and hear what they have to say, and maybe they have the wrong insight of something, or but I'm sorry, knowing like that what they have to say matters, because it does, and I want them to know that their voice matters, and while maybe I don't agree with them, I can still hear them and not belittle them and try to talk down to them or discredit, no, what's the word, like discount what they have to say.
Discredit.
But that's like, as a pride thing, you know, when you hear something like, you guys argue too much. Oh, I could say, no, we don't, you're wrong, you know.
No, we don't.
You're wrong, you are incorrect, we do not argue too much. Or say, oh, you feel that way, can you explain the things that you hear that bother you? How can I do that better? Because I do feel like it's important to, I don't know about argue, but like to disagree with each other in front of our kids, because
we've talked about that.
Yeah.
About how we want to do that so they see a model of people that this is acceptable behavior in
Right.
disagreeing versus, you know, maybe seeing something that's really unhealthy.
Right.
But then you don't know how they respond until you
Right.
ask them.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and Emery's pretty sensitive too, so
That's my second question in this is, when it comes to how you communicate with your children, how does the different personalities dictate how you communicate with them?
okay.
Because you've got 6 kids, so you've got the whole spectrum.
Yeah.
How does, do you approach your kids differently based on their personalities?
Yes. I do think it's different, like with the boys, because they're still young, so it's not as much with them. But as the girls have gotten older, I have noticed like Emery has more sensitive spirit. So like with her, I have to be a little gentler, which is sometimes it's hard because as the firstborn, you just expect more out of the firstborn, and so you have to realize that they have a little bit. They're just the personalities. And with Shyla, she's got some fire, and
You can challenge her.
you can challenge her. Maybe not when she's in the midst of her emotion. Like, so, I mean, if this is anybody, like if they're feeling things and they're feeling it, they're not going to necessarily think logically. And so you have to meet them where they're at with their emotion calmly, because if you match them in their emotion, like they're going to stay there and it's not going to be productive at all. So matching her with emotion is not going to work, but to meet her there. So like when she's really upset, to say, hey, I see that you're upset. Like what happened? What's going on? And then bringing her back. I was telling Daniel, like I've been watching these videos, and one of my friends makes fun of me because I have all these things from Instagram that I'm learning. But it was on Instagram. And he talks about how you have different mental states of where you're thinking, and you can be in your executive state, your emotional state, or you're back here in your
fight or flight responses.
Yeah, fight or flight responses. So
that brings up a great point, and that is how have you, because you have been doing a lot of work in this area and have grown a lot in this area. How have you? Well, you don't know what area I'm talking about yet.
No, I mean in that area,
Yeah,
I feel like I have.
How have you worked to be the adult in the room? Because sometimes, and what I mean by that is, when you're dealing with your child's stuff and there's all sorts of issues going on, there's always stress surrounding it. You want to communicate well with your child. You've got your own stuff.
Yeah.
Your kid says something that makes you frustrated or sets
trigger,
you off or triggers you.
That...
But you have to be the adult in the room. Yeah. So what have you been learning about that, and how have you been working on that?
How have I been working on it? By recognizing it, I think. And I know that happens also, like with us, where, that really triggered
She's
me.
She's the adult in the room with.
No,
with
I don't mean like that. I just mean like remembering, you're a person. And, okay, what you said, maybe it wasn't about me. And, why did that bother me in the way that it did? And so, like, pausing is a big.
Even with your kids?
Even with my kids. So, like, when they are still awake and it's 11 o'clock at night, and I have told them several times to go to bed, instead of yelling at them or, giving a punishment, I don't know, just stepping back, being like, okay, why does that bother me so badly? Like, why do I feel disrespected when they're the ones who are being affected by it? I guess I don't know. Just pausing and seeing like, why does that? What is that triggers me? And then,
I think it's on us as parents to do that work. We're constantly working on helping our kids change and grow and learn. But we also have to remember we have to grow and change and learn with them.
Yeah. And
that's hard work, especially when we're, in the midst of providing and cleaning and taking care of and all of that.
Yeah.
So I want you to finish with I'm going to read something here that'll give you time to think about answering this question. Parents, part of this congregation, lots of parents, lots of kids, all different situations. And every parent, I think, in the back of their mind wonders, am I doing a good job? So what's a piece of encouragement you can give them in that regards? I mean, you think about it while I read the scripture.
Ask me one more time so I can remember it.
What encouragement would you give to the parents at Timberlake? Especially in thinking about how most of us wonder, am I even doing a good job here? Am I just messing this all up? Okay. This is the blessing of the week for you. I'll read this and then we'll finish with Macy's encouragement to you. It comes from Psalm 127. It says this: unless the Lord builds the house, those who build it will labor in vain. Unless the Lord watches over the city, the watchmen watch in vain. It is in vain that you rise up early and go late to rest, eating the bread of anxious toil, for he gives to his beloved sheep. And then you're like, what in the world's God talking about here? God building it, God watching over it. Then it says this: behold, children are a heritage from the Lord, the fruit of the womb a reward. Like arrows in the hand of a warrior are the children of one's youth. Blessed is the one who fills his quiver with them. He shall not be put to shame when he speaks with his enemies at the gate. And it's a reminder for me that when it comes to your family, when it comes to your children, there are times where we are just as stressed as anybody else. It's a good reminder that God is the one that builds our family. He's the one that loves our children, looks over them, and watches over them. And we're going to do our part. We're going to do our best to model a godly example. But it kind of takes the pressure off knowing God is the one establishing our home because we trust in him first. And in doing so, he says, when he builds that house, we don't have to be anxious. We don't have to be nervous about what is ahead because he is the foundation. So that's the encouragement and the blessing of the week, is to remember to build your house on a foundation of faith, particularly with your family. But I know many of you at times can feel discouraged, and some of you whose children are already raised, but would you speak specifically to those who are raising kids wondering, am I doing a good job? What encouragement would you give them?
You're not alone. You're not the only person who wonders if they're failing, and you can do this, and listen to the people around you, because especially like in the church, because especially the ones who are older than us and who've been there, because they know, and when they say this is a short time, trust them, because it goes really quickly. But you got this.
Got this.
Got this.
Well, thank you so much. We love you all. Thank you for being here this week on the Ripple Effect podcast. And also, we want to say a special thank you to the congregation, because it is such a blessing for us to be able to raise our children in a place that genuinely loves them for who they are. Mm-hmm. So thank you for the Timberlake community and how you love our family so well. We love you all, and we'll see you here on the Ripple Effect podcast next week.